Okay, my most influential teacher was Amaryliss. She was my fundamentals of speech teacher when I was at Clark College, which is now Clark Atlanta University. The reason why it's significant is because my major at the time was elementary education. I wanted to teach young children, but I wanted to teach young deaf children. So I knew that after I finished at Clark College, I was going to have to go to Gallaudet. She pulled me in her office one day and said to me, "You should change your major." And I said, "Change my major?" She said, "Yes, you should be a journalism major, not elementary education." And that was partially because every now and then she would see me on campus reading poetry to and along with some other students. And I have to say it was kind of complimentary that at times it kind of drew a crowd to the point where we wound up with an underground newspaper. Understand this was at the end of the 60s, but still in the thrust of the civil rights movement. So we had two papers at Clark. We had our Black Panther paper, which was the official school paper. And we had another paper that we did, I guess you could call it more of a grassroots version, called Your Mama is Black. Yeah. So the administration agreed that we could have this newspaper, but we had to have a teacher officiate over it so that nothing we put in the paper would cause us or cause the school to have a lawsuit. So, yes, we had freedom of speech. However, it was still monitored. Anyway, each one of us had a pen name and the editor's name under which we wrote. And mine they gave me was Nia, because at the time we were studying Kwanzaa. Nia is one of the seven principles of Kwanzaa. It means purpose. So I became the poet of purpose because they said that all my poetry had messages. My teacher, Miss Hawk, she said to me, "You should consider changing your major to journalism and learn more about creative writing." I told her while that sounded wonderful, I knew I couldn't do it because my father, who was a policeman, went out on disability because he was injured on the jobs, which made me eligible for a scholarship. And if I switched my major, he was going to be really, really upset because, as far as he was concerned, writers didn't make any money. He was okay with me becoming a teacher, but he was not okay with me considering a writing career. So, anyway, she decided that she would have a program one day. And at that program, I was able to read some of my poetry and a play. So we had a table read of one of my plays. Second time I had actually written a play, and a couple of the students agreed to take part and read the characters in the play. The play was called Freedom or Nothing. Unfortunately, the person who, the influential person who came and listened, asked me for a copy. Me and my dumb self back then, not knowing so much about copyrights, I gave him a copy. And then I lost my copy. So tried to get the copy that I gave him back, to no avail. And to this day, I know what the play was about, but I don't have a copy of it anymore. But I do appreciate my teacher because she was one of the reasons why a lot of my writing, I won't say got political at the time, but it had a whole lot more significance than writing about flowers and trees and nature and things like that. People became my subject matter, and I would go into current events and turn those into poems.